By now, you're probably used to Christian Bale's extreme transformations for different roles. But the one that really put him on the map was the role of Trevor Reznik in The Machinist. Bale went from 13 stone down to a staggering 7.5 stone. Apparently, he did this by taking up smoking to suppress his appetite and living on an apple a day, cut into quarters. So what's it all about? Well, Trevor Reznik is an insomniac machinery worker whose life is seemingly losing control. He frequents a prostitute and keeps the company of a late-night diner waitress to pass away his sleepless nights. There are clues that Trevor's life was once normal, with fellow workers constantly talking about his weight loss and alluding to him changing into a bit of a weirdo.
Yo, Reznik, you up for some cards tonight?
Damn, got plans.
Shit, see, this nigga say the same thing every poker night. And what's up with you? You used to be alright.
His life takes a bit of an unexpected turn when a post-it note appears on his fridge depicting a hangman and a 6-letter word clue. Unaware of the identity of the intruder, Trevor's lack of sleep and paranoia moves into overdrive. During the course of the film, the viewer goes on a journey with Trevor as he starts experiencing increasingly bizarre occurrences. He's blamed for one of the machines mysteriously turning on and ripping the arm off of one of his colleagues. Blood starts dripping from his fridge, and a very odd man called Ivan enters his life. So what does it all mean? Oh, and by the way, there are some pretty big spoilers coming up. Well, the film, in essence, is one big foreshadowing to a major event that happened in Reznik's life 1 year ago. We learn at the end that he was involved in a hit and run in which he killed a small child while jumping a light in his prized Pontiac Viper. And we've basically been watching a tapestry of clues to his now suppressed crime. The woman in the diner? Well, that's the child's mum running in the road after the accident. There's a great scene in the film where Trevor goes to the fun fair and the ghost train details his previous crime and current dirty lifestyle. The ghost house opens on what appears to be the wreckage of a car crash, and Route 666, which represents the sticker that Reznik had in his car at the time of the accident. Then we see the waitress of the late night cafe that he's been frequenting, who we later learn is actually a delusion of Nicholas's mum. Then we see the severed hand, representing Miller, who lost his hand in the machinery accident. And this is clearly a grieving mother by the side of her grave, the son that she lost in the hit and run. The sheriff's office is clearly a sign that Reznik has not handed himself in and has in fact running from the police. The shady motel represents the prostitute that Reznik's been visiting every evening. This scene here is probably the most obvious metaphor. A child steps into the road, a Pontiac Viper hits the child, and then we see a car wreckage and what appears to be the corpse of a small boy. Now maybe this is where Reznik starts realising, because then we see a fork in the road. Shall he go down the road to redemption or the highway to hell? Sadly, Nicholas picks the highway to hell. The mysterious character of Ivan is a direct metaphor for Trevor's guilt. He is a grotesque version of himself, and this delusion ultimately leads him to handing himself in. In fact, Trevor starts replacing himself in photos with the character of Ivan.
It's you. Look.
And Ivan even drives the Pontiac Viper that Trevor was driving when he killed the small boy over a year ago. Did you notice the dish? Well, the dish that he sees in the waitress's house is the very same dish that Trevor's packing up when he's on his way to prison. There is a couple of clues that Reznik is experiencing a delusion. As you can see in this scene, he's reading The Idiot by Fyodor Dostoevsky, and there's 3 characters in this book worth noting. One called Nicholas, one called Marie, and one called Ivan. And these are the 3 characters that he's created in his delusion. The waitress is called Marie, her son is called Nicholas, and obviously the grotesque version of himself is called Ivan. All in all, The Machinist is dirty, dark, gritty, and very mysterious. It takes you on a journey. You learn more about the film as it goes along. At times you're frustrated because you just want to know what's happened, as you know there's a big twist coming. Bale is superb in the film, and his transformation alone makes the film well worth a watch.